Hello fellow Gunters. We are know that the current king of Gunlance is the Guardian Arkveld 1. That one Gunlance ties in the strongest attack wyrmstake full blast with the other types and overcome them in the rest, with the strongest wyvern fire and regular shells used when it is not possible. But this opens up the question about what brings to the table the other top Gunlances? This video is about the niche of the white Gunlance. The Gravios Gunlance that tiers in attack power with gark but sports the long type of shelling. Using the training dummy we find that the Gravios wsfb combo is near to the damage of the Quematris and gark Gunlance, falling a 5% behind the gark Gunlance. One of the causes of the difference of damage is that Gravios lacks elements and instead uses blast. And the other is how ironically the burst fire of wide is a lot stronger than longs. After adding the wyvern fire of both Gunlances the gap widens. So, is there any reason to pick white over gark? Well, there is one, that is the range of shells and specially the range of the charged one. In Wilds, charged shells have been reworked, so instead of firing them one by one, you store them in your lance and when releasing the button you gun all of them at once. Besides an increase of damage, charging also changes the range of the charged shells. The more shells you stow, the longer the range some of them get. But is not a single hitbox for all the shells. Each shell will have a range, and I think this is even bugged because if you try to charge shell at max range against the dummy at point blank, you will find the first shell missing the target. You need to step a bit back to make everything land. Likewise, at the longer range you will also miss some of the shells like it happens with wyvern fire. The distance to hit with all 4 shells is consistent, but I'm not going to lie, this is a bit annoying. I will open a bug report because it makes no sense to not be able to hit the target at point blank with all shells since they are going literally through the monster. Now there is the question of which kind of weapon skill combination you should use. Long charged shell recoil can be instantly cancelled into a reload if you only fire 2 of them. Thanks to the lack of recoil it is very easy to keep on target. I compared 2 setups with the skill focus at level 3. One using artillery 3 and no load shells and the other with load shells but just artillery 1. I find the second setup being a lot better. Still, there is merit in firing just 2 charged shells since it is a lot safer, but the damage drops a lot. Talking about damage drop. Don't think for any moment that these charged shells are a good source of damage comparable to the wyrmstake full blast combo. Here in these samples, I was able to score 3,500 damage in near 40 seconds. A loop using wyrmstake full blast with gark is able to reach these numbers in about 25 seconds. The difference is huge. Also, if you go for the setup of focus 3, load shells 2 and artillery 1, your wyrmstake full blast combo damage will fall further behind. The final handicap is that white Gunlance comes with guard up, which is a skill of very limited use compared to the guard skill that is included in the other top Gunlances. At the end of the day, there are very few targets where you can exploit both the extra range and the guard up skills. Ironically, of all monsters the one is Gravios itself. Gravios is a big target that makes the full charged shells easy to land. Also, Gravios really love when you are near to him to use breath on the ground, hitting any hunter near to him, making the use of wyrmstake full blast tricking to use. And Wilds has introduced a new mechanic where if you get hit by a beam you can move forward and hit the monster, cancelling the breath. So, yes, the weapon seems tailor-made to fight Gravios. The other monsters where the extra range can be very useful are flying monsters like Rathalos. From the point of view of optimal play it is always recommended to just use flash pods, but you can't carry an infinite amount of them. Outside these monsters, the range is not very useful because monsters are always on your face and the lack of native guard makes it even terrible against some monsters like Arkveld. All this being said, you should try to get some practice with long Gunlances. Next title update features mhwilds and traditionally comes with a long Gunlance. Capcom is known to balance shell types by releasing even more broken Gunlances with each update, and there is a big possibility mhwilds will be best on slot. And comparing white with normal we also find the similar burst fire damage, but at least normal has this trick of the big ranged shells. To finalize the video, the verdict of the white Gunlance is that charged shells aren't meant to be your main source of damage but helps getting extra hits when wyrmstake full blast is not available, and otherwise is a good Gunlance just behind gark because as everyone knows by no gark is broken. If you also refuse to use gark because of either hate of wide Gunlances or because you want to use something less busted in case it gets nerfed, this is also the one. Our current power level is so high that I don't even bother buffering up before the hunt, and I try to refuse to fight anything that is not at least 4 purple stars, and that is just if there are not a templated 5 stars. Don't make me rant about how every single speedrun is against 3 stars monsters that aren't meant to be fought with an optimized build. Whatever. Thanks for watching. And see you in the hunt.
Excellent work. That's another quest complete.
My lives are flashing before me here.